Superheroes are individuals we are meant to look up to, but they are still fallible and sometimes in the absolute worst ways. I'm Adam Andrews with Top 10 Nerd, and this is the top 10 times superheroes were wrong. Let me know the funniest times you were proven completely wrong down below, and in at number 10 is Bucky. Because this one is so obvious that I feel like I'm cheating by using it, it's going all the way at the top. But look, everyone thought that Captain America's #1 guy, Bucky Barnes, was long gone. All the way back near the end of World War II, Bucky's body was never found after he had gotten himself stuck to an experimental plane that then exploded. Pretty surefire way to come to an end. That was in Avengers #4 from 1964. Now, fast forward all the way to Captain America Volume 5, number 11 from 2005, and turns out that Bucky was not gone at all. Well, his arm was, but the rest of him had fallen into a very cold river and become preserved in ice like Captain America, which actually makes no sense because I swear Cap only survived that because of his serum, but whatever. Bucky was then recovered by the Soviets and they outfitted him with a new arm and some extremely serious brainwashing. Bucky became one of the most deadly assassins for the Soviet Union and was sent around the world to take out the highest of priority targets, leaving almost no trace. He was also the one to train the Black Widow Ops program. The revelation that Buck was still alive was a huge one for Captain America, and as most of you know, this made it all the way into the MCU, so it was obviously a good story to tell. In at number 9 is Judgment. There's nothing like having your whole existence judged by a massive, ancient, all-powerful Celestial and having almost no way to stop it. In the extremely recent Judgment event, in the wake of a very catastrophic war between the mutants and the Eternals, the Avengers revived the progenitor Celestial to put an end to the conflict. Only, the Celestial is like, no, you guys are actually the worst, and now I'm going to judge your entire species one person at a time to decide if it's worth it to let you all live. And they can do absolutely nothing to stop that. Like, they even believe that they have found a solution, only for the Celestial to pull the rug out from under them and reveal that the whole thing was an illusion that it created by itself. And he judges them even harsher for doing that. What's interesting is that the Celestial judges a lot of heroes in a way you may not expect. Now, I don't want to give spoilers for the comics, so definitely check it out if you haven't already, but characters like Jean Grey, Captain America, and Cyclops all have their entire comic history judged by the Celestial, and it's super interesting. Also, the Celestial's judgment of Doctor Doom is probably one of the most subtle Great Doom moments in comic books. You gotta check it out. But in at number 8 is Secret Empire. Marvel's Secret Empire should just be, this is all the things that heroes thought about Captain America, and they were completely wrong about all of them. That's what they should just title this comic book. For example, near the beginning of the whole thing, Captain America orders the death of Rick Jones. Not a single hero expected him to actually do that. I mean, to be honest, no one expected Captain America to be not just a Hydra sleeper agent, but Hydra supreme leader either. But I think the hero who got things really wrong in the worst way about the man he looked up to, surprisingly, would be Deadpool. One of Deadpool's biggest heroes is Captain America. He grew up idolizing him, and when Cap let him join the Avengers, it was a big deal to the guy. So he knew that whatever Cap would ask him to do would be for the best. That includes taking down other major allies like Agent Phil Coulson. Hydra Cap put Deadpool on the very important mission to take out Coulson, and because of Deadpool's faith in the Cap, he followed the order. As you can imagine, it was not a good time when he found out how wrong he was to do so. Number 7, the Illuminati and the Hulk. Look, there is a whole hell of a lot that the Illuminati has gotten wrong. They're a group of men representing some of the most powerful groups and nations in the Marvel world, and they all have drastically different points of view and are all drastically full of themselves and incredibly narcissistic. So I'm going to talk about some of the biggest mess-ups they are responsible for, starting with what they did to the Hulk. After the Jade Giant destroyed Las Vegas, Iron Man and the Illuminati had to come up with a hard solution to the problem of the Hulk. He's just too big of a threat to the human population, and that's honestly fair. Some stories say that the Hulk supposedly has never taken the life of an innocent person when he was on one of his rampages, which, 1, sounds like a complete lie, but 2, is proven to be untrue in this story, as during his rampage in Las Vegas, he accidentally took the lives of 26 people and a dog. The Hulk is a threat, but he's also a friend, so I'm sure that the fix the Illuminati came up with of blasting Bruce Banner into space towards an uninhabited planet seemed like a really good one. The Illuminati teammates all agreed except for Namor, and they set sent him off to land on an uninhabited, peaceful planet. Only, that's not what happened at all, and they put him through probably the worst emotional pain he's ever been through, and he came back with the most amount of rage anyone had seen out of the Hulk up to that point, and it was directed to each member of the Illuminati. Good job, guys, you messed up. But in at number 6, it's the Illuminati and the Skrulls. Now, on to the second Illuminati mess up. Pretty quickly after the Illuminati's formation, the Avengers found themselves caught between the warring Skrull and Kree empires. That's not exactly a conflict you want to involve yourself in if you can help it, but alas, the Illuminati are way less intelligent than you'd expect. When the dust settled, the members of the Illuminati wanted to send a message directly to the Skrulls along the lines of, "Leave and never come back because we are super strong and will destroy you." How did they deliver that message? In the form of a small raid on the already defeated Skrulls on their throne world. And what do you know, it didn't go as smoothly as planned. They were pretty promptly captured, studied, and experimented on by the shape-changing Skrulls. Seems like there is a negative to going behind the backs of all your insanely powerful friends and doing incredibly shady stuff without telling one. Who would have thought? Alas, this was the reason the whole secret invasion happened, where the Skrulls literally infiltrated the Earth, swapping out heroes with Skrull sleeper agents. Again, good job, guys. But in at number 5, who would have thought, it's the Illuminati again with the Infinity Gems. Another of the Illuminati's shortcomings came when they thought they could keep the astronomically powerful Infinity Gems protected by keeping all of them on the same planet, Earth, this planet. However, Mr. Fantastic, being probably the most intelligent of the group, thought he had figured out the perfect way to destroy the incredibly dangerous Infinity Gems once and for all. With the help of the Illuminati, Reed Richards gathered all 6 gems together and tried to use their combined power to erase them from existence, kind of like how Thanos did that in Avengers Endgame, just minus the whole crispy arm thing. While Mr. Fantastic's arm was spared, the plan totally backfired and forced Richards to reconsider his options. He gave the members of the Illuminati 1 gem each to protect and hide, but that decision to have these cosmically powerful gems, some of the strongest objects in the universe, all relatively close to each other, just made them easier for the relatively lame villain the Hood to steal them. At which point Tony Stark lied to everyone again and the Illuminati dispersed the gems among each other yet again. The thick-headedness of these guys, I am telling you, it's just the worst. But off the Illuminati and into number 4 is Tower of Babel. Batman is a planner. That's why the amount of prep time he is given is a major point to cover when talking about whether or not he can take on another character. So yeah, he is a master strategist and tactician, but do you know what Batman is really freaking bad at? Communication. I think most of his interpersonal problems can be attributed to the fact that Batman sucks with people, but it became an absolutely massive problem when it came to the Tower of Babel storyline. You see, Batman had come up with contingency plans for all his fellow Justice League members, just in case any one of them, or all of them, are corrupted, become mind controlled, or turn evil. And do you know how many times that has happened? A lot! So that makes sense. He's not wrong for doing that. And as an added bonus, all of his plans were to detain and incapacitate. But Bats didn't tell any of them about the fact that he had these plans. His need to be in control and the lack of trust he had in his teammates led directly to Ra's al Ghul stealing his plans, altering them to be deadly, and bringing the League to its knees. If he had just been able to communicate that these totally reasonable plans existed, I think that simple statement could have saved a world of headaches, not to mention the League wouldn't have nearly been as mad at him after the fact. But no, he's gotta be all brooding and edgy and annoying. And at number 3 is Professor X. Man, honestly, Professor X is a huge jerk. He has done a whole slew of questionable things that we could all deem as wrong. He used his abilities to cheat in school, which, yeah, I would do that too, but he also consistently recruits young adults, most of whom have no other home to go and fight for his cause. And he even uses his powers to manipulate them into doing so on multiple occasions. He's faked his own passing to his own students and didn't even apologize when he came back. He tampered with Jean Grey's mind instead of teaching her, which arguably resulted in the Dark Phoenix. He erased Wolverine's memory and implanted new memories when they first met. He erased the memory of Vulcan from his younger brother's minds to cover his own butt. He was a horrible dad and even pulled a Tower of Babel all of his own with the X-Men by creating the Xavier protocols, which fell into the wrong hands. But the biggest oopsie from Xavier was when he used his powers to put Magneto into a coma, which somehow bonded Xavier and Magneto into a singular being called Onslaught, who had both of their abilities and the knowledge to gain even more power. This being spelled out the end of the line for countless heroes from the Avengers, X-Men, Fantastic Four, and everyone in between. Now sure, the problem was solved thanks to some reality warping, and he couldn't have known this would happen, but because of his other sins as well, screw this guy. In at number 2, saving your mom. Not your mom. You know what I'm saying. Now, because we are dealing with heroes for this list, on most of these occasions the heroes did have the best of intentions, but as Sam Neill as Dr. Grant in Jurassic Park 3 says, some of the worst things imaginable have been done with the best of intentions. Now I'm sure Dr. Grant was not talking about Barry Allen the Flash using the Speed Force to go back in time and prevent the death of his mother, inadvertently causing a timeline where he has no powers, the Amazonians and the Atlanteans are in a massive war that destroyed the UK, Bruce Wayne lost his life and Thomas Wayne became a very aggressive Batman, Superman was captured and held in an underground facility for his whole life, the Justice League never formed, and Cyborg is the world's premier superhero. Probably wasn't talking about that. Obviously, we can all understand why Barry wanted to do this. I would probably have done the same thing. I love my mom. But for a hero who is in possession of powers that can alter time, he should be way more responsible with that power. Has he never read a Spider-Man comic? Also, he paved a way for DC to give us the New 52, and whether you loved it or hated it, that was a big old mess all of its own. And in at number 1, John Stewart blows up planet Xanshi. John Stewart is one of the cooler Green Lanterns, I'll give him that. Definitely a lot of people's favorite. Doesn't mean he can't have moments of utter stupidity though, and man, the one he had was a doozy. So basically, in Cosmic Odyssey Volume 1 Number 2, John Stewart and John Johns, Martian Manhunter, are sent to a planet called Xanshi, where the anti-life aspect had set a plague among the inhabitants. After Stewart easily makes a cure for the virus in like 2 panels, the pair fly off to an Arctic weather station because of the amount of energy it's sapping. They travel all the way to the station, with Stewart constantly underestimating the aspect and the things it has been throwing at the two heroes. He's actually a huge jerk about it honestly, acting like it's all nothing to the power of the Green Lanterns. Then, out of nowhere, Stewart says, "Looks like things are gonna get rougher from here on in. Sorry, John." And this cocky son of a gun traps Martian Manhunter in a bubble and says that Manhunter is out of his league here and will only slow Stewart down. Manhunter's even like, "You may yet need me," and this guy is like, kinda doubt that, and then he flies off to seize the day, monologuing about how powerful his ring is and nothing can stop it. Turns out, the Aspect has set up a massive world-destroying device, and you know what else? He painted the whole thing yellow. Now in case you do not know, Green Lantern power rings cannot affect anything that is the color yellow. And you bet that puppy goes off and literally annihilates half of the planet, boiling the seas and engulfing it in flame. Then the inside of the planet explodes as well, causing the whole thing to go way out of its orbit and then go careening into its own sun. Now look, I've messed up before. A lot of heroes have messed up before, but not a lot of those heroes have messed up like this. Good golly. That's all I got. Thanks for watching Top 10 Nerd. I'm Adam Andrews. I'll catch you on the flippy flop. Peace out, nerds.